You were fine in the Target parking lot. Not amazing, not suddenly wealthy, but fine. You had your coffee, your car started, the rent was paid, the groceries in the back seat cost more than they should have. Because apparently strawberries now need a financing department, but still, fine. Then you opened your phone. 4 minutes later, your apartment felt smaller, your car felt older, your clothes felt like they were quietly betraying you. Somebody from college was in Italy. Somebody else had a kitchen that looked like it had never seen a dirty plate. A stranger was explaining why your couch was ruining your nervous system. Nothing changed in your bank account. No bill arrived. No emergency happened. Your income did not go down. Your debt did not go up. But somehow your life felt cheaper than it did 5 minutes ago, and that feeling matters. Because a person who feels okay does not need to buy much. A person who feels behind is much easier to sell to. Welcome to Dean Decodes Money. Today, we're decoding one of the quietest taxes in modern American life. I call it the Inadequacy Tax. It is the money you spend, not because something is broken, but because something made you feel behind. Not because you needed a new thing, because your current life suddenly felt unacceptable. And the trap is that the inadequacy tax almost never looks irresponsible in the moment. It looks like a better pair of shoes, a nicer car, a kitchen upgrade, a phone replacement, a weekend trip you deserve, a gym membership that feels like becoming a new person, a cart full of small things that each look harmless until the month looks confused. The wrong number is, can I afford this? The real number is, what feeling am I trying to buy, and what margin am I giving up to buy it? That is the part most budgets miss. A normal budget tracks dollars, but a modern household also has to track pressure. Because the pressure is no longer random. It is engineered. Here is the uncomfortable truth. A lot of middle-class Americans are not losing financial margin because they made one giant foolish decision. They are losing it because the definition of normal keeps getting more expensive. The baseline moved, not all at once, slowly. A normal phone became a $1,000 phone. A normal family car became a $45,000 SUV. A normal birthday party became an event. A normal vacation became content. A normal apartment needed aesthetic storage bins, a matching rug, better lighting, and maybe a little framed print that says something about being present while you are actively losing money online. Nobody forced one specific purchase. That is why the trap works. It does not feel like pressure. It feels like taste. It feels like self-improvement. It feels like finally becoming the kind of person who has their life together. But underneath that feeling is a financial mechanism. Your brain has an internal thermostat for enough. For most of human history, that thermostat was set by real life. Your neighborhood, your family, your coworkers, the people you actually saw. Now that thermostat is being adjusted all day by apps, ads, influencers, brands, and algorithmic feeds showing you the most polished 5% of other people's lives. Not average life. Not paid-off life. Not we are carrying a credit card balance, but the lighting is nice life, the highlight reel. And your brain keeps comparing your behind the scenes to their staged kitchen island. That comparison raises the thermostat. Suddenly the life that felt fine starts to feel cold, so you spend to warm it back up. That is the inadequacy tax. And it gets expensive because you are not paying it once. You are paying it through a higher baseline. Let's put numbers on it. According to the Federal Reserve's household data, 63% of adults said they could cover a forced water emergency using cash, savings, or a credit card they could pay off right away. That means a large share of American adults cannot absorb one very normal bad Tuesday without borrowing, selling something, or carrying the cost. Now hold that next to another number. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that the average American consumer unit spent $78,535 in 2024. That is not just yachts and luxury watches. That is housing, food, transportation, healthcare, insurance, subscriptions, clothes, restaurants, repairs, phones, kids, and the 1,000 tiny costs of being a functioning adult in America. So when someone says it was only $80, that may be true. But the household is not dealing with one $80 decision. It is dealing with an entire environment designed to make $80 decisions feel like emotional relief. That is where the inadequacy tax hides. It hides in the gap between this one purchase is affordable and my life is quietly being repriced. Let's use a household. Megan and Chris live outside Columbus, Ohio. Together, they make about $118,000 a year. On paper, that sounds solid. Not private jet solid. But why are you stressed? Solid. After taxes, health insurance, retirement contributions, and payroll deductions, they bring home around $7,100 a month, Their mortgage is $2,150. Two car payments total $910. Car insurance is $265. Student loans are $430. Utilities, phones, and internet are $520. Groceries are around $1,050 because they have two kids and one of them has decided berries are a personality. Childcare and after school costs add another $850. Minimum credit card payments are $240. Before anyone does anything dramatic, most of their paycheck already has a place to be. They are not poor on paper. But after the fixed stuff, they have maybe $685 of real monthly breathing room. That $685 is supposed to handle clothes, birthdays, school events, oil changes, co-pays, haircuts, takeout when everyone is exhausted, random Amazon orders, kids' shoes, home repairs, and a mysterious category called "Why was this month like this?" Now watch what happens when the thermostat of enough gets turned up. Megan sees 3 home accounts showing calm, beautiful kitchens where every drawer has a container inside another container, so she spends $180 on organizing supplies. Not crazy. Chris sees coworkers talking about trucks. His car is fine, but it feels older every time he parks next to something newer. So he starts browsing. They both see friends posting a beach trip. They have not taken a real vacation in 2 years. So they put a weekend getaway on a card. The kids want the shoes everyone has. The phone battery is annoying. The couch looks sad now because Instagram introduced them to a better couch. None of these decisions looks like a financial disaster. That is the point. The inadequacy tax does not usually arrive as one obvious villain. It arrives as 100 reasonable upgrades. By the end of the month, Megan and Chris are not wondering why they bought a yacht. They are wondering why 2 decent incomes still feel fragile. And honestly, this is where people get blamed unfairly. A lot of financial advice acts like the problem is that people are reckless. Sometimes, yes, people make bad decisions. But often, the person is not reckless. The environment is relentless. Every platform is whispering the same message in a slightly different outfit. You are almost there. You are not quite enough. Your life would feel better with this. Your home would say something different about you with that. Your body, your car, your vacation, your clothes, your morning routine, your child's backpack, your water bottle, your dog's food bowl, all of it can be optimized. And every optimization has a checkout button. This is not just marketing. It is financial pressure disguised as identity. Because brands learn something very important. They do not have to convince you the product is necessary. They only have to make your current self feel incomplete without it. A watch is not a watch. It is proof that you have arrived. A car is not transportation. It is a rolling statement about how life is going. A kitchen is not a place to make eggs. It is evidence of taste, order, maturity, and whether your life looks like it belongs in the right algorithmic neighborhood. A gym membership is not just access to equipment. It is a receipt for the identity of someone who is taking control, and that can be powerful. There is nothing wrong with wanting nice things. There is nothing wrong with beauty, comfort, quality, travel, fitness, style, or a home that makes you feel proud. The problem starts when your financial life is being quietly shaped by feelings you did not choose. Because the machine does not need to make you miserable. It only needs to make you slightly dissatisfied at the right moment. Slightly embarrassed. Slightly behind, slightly aware that everyone else seems to be living with better lighting. That is enough. Bankrate found that 48% of social media users said they had made an impulse purchase after seeing a product on social media, and those buyers spent an average of $754 over the past year on those purchases. That number sounds small until you remember what $754 is. For a household with no emergency fund, that is the car repair. That is the dental bill. That is the month when the credit card balance does not grow. That is one step away from the paycheck cliff. And the real cost is not only the $754. The real cost is what happens when the purchase gets financed at credit card rates. The Federal Reserve's consumer credit data has shown that credit card accounts assessed interest sit around the low 20% range. So when the feeling of not enough becomes a balance that follows you, the tax starts charging interest. This is where the wrong number tricks people. The wrong number is the price. The real number is the margin lost, plus the interest added, plus the habit reinforced. A $90 impulse purchase is not just $90 if it lands on a credit card you do not pay off. It is $90 that was supposed to be shock absorption. It is $90 that now competes with next month's groceries. It is $90 that teaches your brain, when I feel inadequate, I buy relief. And that lesson is expensive. Now, there is another layer. The inadequacy tax is not only about buying products, it is about buying the new minimum. That is the most dangerous part. One purchase can be returned. A baseline is harder to undo. Once your household gets used to the nicer car, the nicer vacation, the nicer restaurants, the nicer kid activities, the nicer phone plan, and the nicer version of every normal thing, going back feels like failure, even if going back would make you safer. This is how lifestyle inflation becomes emotionally sticky. It is not just that you spend more when you earn more. It is that your old life starts to feel beneath you, and that is a very profitable feeling for somebody else. The system does not need to be evil for the math to hurt you. The platform wants engagement. The advertiser wants conversion. The brand wants loyalty. The lender wants the payment stream. The credit card company wants the balance. Each piece can look normal by itself, but together, they create a machine that turns comparison into spending. Spending into monthly payments, and monthly payments into a household with less freedom. Nobody has to sit in a dark room and plot against Megan and Chris. The incentives do the work. The feed shows what keeps attention. The ad sells the solution. The checkout removes friction. The payment plan reduces pain. The credit card delays consequence. And by the time the bill arrives, the emotional trigger is gone. Now, it just looks like your fault. But it was not just a purchase. It was a sequence: exposure, comparison, inadequacy, relief, payment, regret, repeat. That is the cycle to interrupt. So what do you actually do? Not never buy anything nice. That is fake wisdom. A life where you never enjoy money is not automatically responsive. Sometimes it is just fear with a spreadsheet. The goal is not to become immune to wanting. The goal is to stop letting engineered inadequacy make financial decisions for you. Use what Dean calls the 24-hour enough test. Step 1. Name the trigger. Before you buy, ask, did I want this before I saw it? That one question is rude in the best way. If the answer is no, you may still buy it eventually. But now you know the desire was introduced, not discovered. That changes the power dynamic. 2. Name the identity. Ask, what kind of person am I trying to feel like if I buy this? Organized, successful, attractive, young, responsible, not behind, not poor, not boring? Do not judge the answer. Just name it. Because unnamed desires spend money fast. Named desires can be negotiated with. Step 3. Price it in margin, not dollars. Do not ask only, can I afford $140? Ask, how many days of breathing room does this remove? For Megan and Chris, if they have $685 of real monthly margin, a $140 purchase is not small. It is more than 20% of their month's flexibility. That changes the feeling. Not because $140 is evil, because $140 is not floating by itself. It is sitting inside a household that already has rent, car payments, childcare, groceries, student loans, utilities, and a credit card balance waiting at the table. Context changes cost. Step 4. Wait one full day. Not because waiting makes you morally superior, because urgency has a half-life. The feeling that screams at 10:40 p.m. after scrolling home content may sound very different at 9 a.m. when you are making coffee next to your perfectly functional toaster. A lot of desires cannot survive daylight. And if it still matters tomorrow, fine. Now you are choosing, not reacting. Step 5. Replace the purchase with the actual need. This is where the test gets useful. If the need is rest, buying a new outfit may not solve it. If the need is status, a payment plan may not solve it. If the need is control, organizing bins may help a little, but so might canceling 2 subscriptions and building a $500 buffer. If the need is beauty, maybe you do not need a full room makeover. Maybe you need one lamp, one clean Saturday, and a trash bag with ambition. This is not about deprivation. It is about accuracy. Buy the thing if it truly serves your life. But do not buy a product when what you actually need is margin, sleep, confidence, time, or a break from being compared to strangers. Now, here is the warning. Do not take this too far. Not every purchase is manipulation. Not every nice thing is a trap. Sometimes the upgraded mattress is worth it. Sometimes the better shoes save your back. Sometimes the family trip becomes a memory your kids talk about for years. Sometimes the nice jacket makes you feel good because you actually like the jacket, not because an algorithm punched you in the self-esteem. Money is not only for survival. It is also for meaning, comfort, generosity, beauty, and joy. The danger is not enjoying money. The danger is using money to constantly repair a wound that somebody else keeps reopening for profit. That is when spending stops being enjoyment and starts becoming anesthesia. And anesthesia wears off. So the decoded rule is this. The modern economy does not only sell products. It sells a higher definition of normal. Then it charges you to keep up with it. The wrong number is whether the payment fits. The real number is whether your life still has margin after the purchase. The wrong question is, can I buy this? The real question is, did I choose this desire, or was it installed in me 5 minutes ago? That question can save you more money than another budgeting app, because the app can track the transaction. But only you can catch the moment before the transaction becomes inevitable. The next time your phone makes your life feel smaller, pause before you open your wallet. Nothing may be wrong with your apartment. Nothing may be wrong with your car. Nothing may be wrong with your clothes. The thermostat of enough may have just been turned up by someone who profits when you feel cold. Turn it back down. Protect your margin. Buy what actually improves your life. Ignore what only improves your performance of life. That is how you stop paying the inadequacy tax. And if this helped you see the real rule behind the purchase, subscribe. Dean Decodes Money is here to decode the hidden money rules before they quietly cost you.